Hey, what's up, beautiful weirdos? Couch Germer here, and I want to do kind of a serious video today. And it's because I saw a picture, a meme, I guess, on Facebook today saying something along the lines of, "I'm a suicide survivor, the stigmas have to stop." And yeah, I can relate to that. And I'm actually going to tell you my suicide attempt story. I'm a suicide attempt survivor. The stigmas have to stop. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you my suicide attempt story so that maybe any of you out there who are dealing with what I was dealing with can get something out of it and know that you're not alone, even though I know firsthand that that's how you feel, because I felt so alone and like I was such a burden. And that's the thing that people don't really realize about people who try to commit suicide, is that we're not trying to be selfish. We're not. We honestly have it in our heads that the people in our lives would be so much better off without us because we're a burden to them. And it feels more selfish to us to keep going and to keep being a burden to the people around us than it does for us to just end it all. And yeah, that may not make sense to you. And I understand that. I do. I understand that. As somebody who wouldn't dream of doing it now, I understand that. But also, I understand where that me was coming from. I went about 6 months with a literally nonstop dislocated shoulder. I was in pain to the extreme every second of the day for about 6 months. I was on painkillers that made me sick, on top of being sick in general as it was. And the thing is that, people can love you all they want or say they love you all they want, but if nothing changes, then neither does the psychosis. So I was trying so hard, no matter what I did, to try to change what was going on, adjust, whatever, well, keeping what I knew worked to help me as normal as possible. It didn't work. My mother and I were at so much odds that we just clashed every second of the day. And I know she was worried about me. I know that she did what she thought was right. And I'm not blaming her. I'm not blaming anybody but me. But we fought so much, and I was in so much pain all the time. And I was so sick all the time that I just downed a bunch of pills one day. And the last thing I remember before waking up in the hospital with my father at my bedside, who I had not seen, had talked to, but had not actually seen in person for like 5 years, was me walking into the emergency room pissed off that my mother had pretty much dragged me out of the house to go, and telling them that I had downed a bunch of pills. And that's the last thing I remember before waking up 2 days later, 1 or 2 days later, with my father, who I had not seen in person in 5 years, sitting at my bedside. And I just about died. I was so happy to see him. But I know, poor choice of words, but what are you gonna do? But honestly, I wish I knew then what I knew now, and I wish that I had the confidence then that I did now, and I wish I was as stable then as I am now. And I'm not 100%, not even close. Like I worry me from time to time, but I've got you guys and I've got good friends, and my mom and I are on great terms now, and my dad and I are great and everything. But that one day just pushed me over the edge, and I honestly felt like I was just the biggest burden on the planet to my mom and everybody else that was in my life, and I was like, fuck it, I'm done. So I tried to end it all. And I'm not even really sure if I was trying just to end it all or just trying to just somehow change how I perceived what was going on. Because what you have to understand is that when somebody says that they want to die, it's not that they want to stop living, it's that they want to stop living what they're living, because that's too much for them. So we're not trying to be selfish. We're really not. And I know it comes off that way, and I'm really sorry for anybody I hurt, but you have to understand that there are two sides to every story. And if you know somebody who's struggling, don't push them and make it worse. Don't be that trigger. If you know you're that trigger, then you're the one that needs to change while they're trying to change. Because if you don't change the way that you approach them, you're going to wish that you had, and you're going to feel guilty. And that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm sorry to be really blunt about it, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, anyway, I will be putting the link to the suicide hotline down below. I have called it. They have been helpful. They're wonderful, and there's no shame in calling it. And the stigma against mental illness and people who are suicidal really needs to stop, because it's really unfair and it just makes things worse. So for any of you out there who are dealing with maybe what I was dealing with, or your own version of it, well, of course your own version of it, because none of us are all the same, but whatever you're dealing with, please believe me, from one suicide attempt survivor to somebody who's going through it, or to another suicide attempt survivor, you are worth it. You are worth fighting for. You are worth every breath that feels like it's hard as hell to take. And I know it may not seem like it now, but one day it will. If you reach that breaking point, reach out to somebody you've never reached out to before. If it's the hotline, call the hotline. If it's a friend that you've never thought to talk to about it before, do that. You'll be really surprised how how different you feel afterward. Because sometimes all it really takes is just somebody to tell you that they understand and they know it's not your fault. Because I felt like everything that was going on with me, from me being sick to me being injured all the time, with my shoulder just dislocating the way it was. I mean, I had a seizure, and the seizure dislocated the shoulder, and me trying to even type dislocated it again, or me just lying in bed and then just trying to roll over to get out of bed dislocated it again, and I felt like I was just doing everything wrong and everything just spiraled. It's not your fault. And it took me waking up in that hospital to understand that not everything's my fault, but I do have to take responsibility for what is my fault. And if anybody can get anything out of me telling my story, then it's worth telling. I wish all of you nothing but love, respect, happiness, and peace. You guys are the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I'm so happy that you're all here. Thank you for watching my videos. I will go back to not serious ones and happy, funny ones later today, hopefully, but yeah, for now I'm going to leave this one here. I love you guys so much. Remember, whoever you are, embrace it, love it, live it, own it. Or embrace it, own it, live it, love it. There we go. That's right. I got it right. my own fucking saying and I can't get it right. Embrace it, own it, live it, love it. Yes. Because you are worth it. Worth it. Worth it. Seriously, you're worth it. And you're beautiful. So keep being you. I love you all.